Well, of course, it was 1 year ago that the Lady Lions and Lady Cougars met here at Jasper. Not that long ago that the Lady Lions won the volleyball semi-state here at Jasper. So it's been kind to us, and we hope it stays that way. Speaking of being kind to the Loogootee program, both guys and gals, Keith Birkey joining us. And Keith comes from the Kokomo area and had never heard, well, he's heard of Loogootee, I'm sure, but was never really in Loogootee, Indiana until a connection made a few years ago, as he tells me, on Hickory Husker. And his love of Indiana high school basketball has turned into his love for Loogootee basketball, listening from afar and occasionally getting down. But Keith, if you would, tell your story on how the connection was made with Loogootee Lion basketball.
Well, I met my dear friend Scott Wagner, who went by Norman Dale on HickoryHusker.com, and he became quite a legend on there, as he met a lot of friends from all over the state, and anybody that came to Loogootee had to meet Scott. They had to find out who this Norman Dale character was. And an amazing amount of people came down. We just kept coming back, Diana and I. But among the people that have come have been like Chris May, who is now the executive director of the Hall of Fame.
Right.
Everybody had to meet this guy.
Is that right?
Oh, yes. And he would especially get cranked up on the weeks of Bar Reeve Loogootee games.
Imagine that.
I don't believe it. I
have a lot of stories, none that I would tell right now, but a lot of great stories.
Well, I'll tell you what was your first impression of Scott Wagner?
Well, I walked into the gym early on the night of the 70 team and the 75 team being honored 16 years ago. And he's
never been into the gym before?
Never been in the gym.
Right.
I've been by, but never been in it. And I was looking up at one of the pictures, and he spotted me, and he had to walk me all down memory lane. It was about every player, about every team, about the families of the players. It was all about Loogootee. And honestly, looking at this, Scott was all about Loogootee, his town, his school. He was all about Loogootee. I mean, he drove a long distance to work every day because he didn't want to leave Loogootee.
Yeah, he was certainly one of the greatest all-time fans in Loogootee. He's got a great niece playing here. You're probably aware, Isabel Wagner. But, I mean, for every story you've got, we can match one.
Oh, I'm sure.
Of Scott Wagner, and so can almost everybody over there in black and gold.
And you know, Greg, if there was ever a stat or ever a year or ever a player you wanted to know about, he had it at his house.
Yep.
He had everything from Loogootee way back when Jack Butcher played. And, I mean, everything he had was all about Loogootee basketball.
He took me in, Keith, he took me into his house in his latter years, and it's like a museum.
A Lions museum,
yeah.
Absolutely.
It's like a museum, and it was so great. But tell me... okay, so that happened. You had a connection. You came that first night. But your love of the game, your love of Loogootee appeared to continue. Why was that?
Well, largely because of Scott. But Diana and I have been to roughly 300 different gyms. We've been all over the state. But no, we are statewide basketball fans. But the draw of Loogootee, the draw of Scott. You know, this is community.
Right.
This is a town like none other. I've been in every county of this state. I've been in basketball games in every county in this state. And there's no town quite like this. It's community. It's family. It's people.
Where did you grow up, Pete?
I grew up in southern Miami County. I went to Maconaquah High School.
Okay.
I moved across the county line into Howard County at the edge of Kokomo. But I grew up son of a rabid basketball fan. So did Diana. Diana grew up the daughter of a Linton person. So, yeah, he came from great basketball country, Greene County. And her dad loved basketball. My dad loved basketball. So it's a natural thing for us. And we travel. We make weekends out of it. And we have a blessed life. As you know, I do a lot of mission work.
I do.
We give back.
Yes,
We've been blessed by God more than we could ever imagine, and we believe in giving back. And this is such a kind community. They've taken us in. We have so many friends here. This is family.
Yeah, that's awesome.
it really is. It's family. This was Scott's family that he could never leave.
You know, Keith, you said you've been over to 300 high school gyms in Indiana. What was your first impression the first time you saw a Bar Eve Loogootee basketball game?
I had never seen anything like it.
Crazy, isn't it?
The rivalries, there's none of those in northern Indiana.
Really?
You know, there used to be strong rivalries, but things have just kind of died away. But Southwest Indiana basketball, there's nothing like it.
Yeah.
Nothing like that rivalry.
We tend to agree.
Well, I don't know your age, Keith, but I'm assuming that it was a time when Loogootee basketball was on the map for the first time in the state of Indiana around the 1970s, 71,
Absolutely.
75, and Jack Butcher. So I'm assuming as a young gentleman that you had somewhat of an intrigue of this very small town and the romanticism of that time.
Sure. And let me tell you, Scott didn't waste any time. He goes, let me introduce you to Jack Butcher. And I'm like, stage fright. I'm like, have I died and gone to heaven or what? and I got an autographed copy of Jack's first book.
Yeah.
And I have the second book at home, too. And they're both well-read, well-marked. And I can tell you exactly where they're at my house.
That's fantastic.
That's great.
Well, I know Brian Bruner down in Florida is saying, what about me? What about me? So I know you developed a nice relationship with Brian Bruner as well.
Good friend.
Another rabid Loogootee Lions.
Oh, absolutely. I can't believe you'd prefer the sunshine to this thing.
I don't understand. I looked at my clock this morning, or my watch. It said 0 degrees, -9 wind chill. Brian's probably down there laughing right now.
I'm sure, but listening.
And probably watching as well as he finds a way to do.
Yes.
Well, Keith, we're going to let you get over there to your lovely wife, Diana. You're way up there, but it looks like a heck of a view.
And she is quite a blessing. I married well.
Yeah, you did.
Have you been in this gymnasium before?
No, I haven't.
This is
about
beautiful.
this one?
This is nice.
It is gorgeous.
Yeah.
It really is.
It looks like a small college gymnasium.
It's like Mackey Arena on a smaller scale.
It's beautiful.
Well, enjoy the game. Enjoy your time in our county, and we hope to see you next week up in Indy.
All right.
Thanks, Keith.
God bless you guys.
You too.
Bless you,
Have a good day.
That's Keith Birkey. We wanted to get him on. We didn't think we'd see him this year because of all the situations, but here he is, Coach, and it's just wonderful. That may be unique in some sense, but you and I have both run into people who have come from wherever, and they will not miss a Loogootee Bar Eve basketball game if they can at all help.
No, and over the years, I've talked to some people who, maybe just went to one of those or witnessed one of those, and they're like Keith. They're just like, there is nothing in the world like watching that rival, a gym that holds 4,500. Both schools combined probably don't have more than, 1,000 students, and they just come from all over the counties to watch that ball game. And like I said, if you're listening out there and you've never been to one of those, you need to get to one.